Okay, so today we're going to be talking about fractions and decimals. And so, like I said, we've done all the fraction lessons. At this point, we can add, subtract, we can multiply, divide. We know improper fractions, we know mixed numbers. We can do 1/2, we can do the little circle, we can write out half, and we understand that they're all equal. So today we're going to be looking at another way to write down numbers and just express numbers, which will just be a decimal. And so if you don't really know much about decimals, I mean, surely you know 0.5. We see it a lot of times when we get change back at the store or the restaurant or anything. If it's 69 cents, that's like a decimal. It's like part of a dollar. It's just another way to express a fraction of a whole number. And so, like I said, it's decimal. The prefix is deci, which just means 10. And that's pretty much it. I mean, 0.1 is another way of saying 1/10. It's like 1/10. And so if we did 0.2, it would be 2/10, all the way up to 1.0, which would be 10/10, or just 1. So like I said, it's just another way to express a part of a whole number. And so to convert between fractions and decimals, converting from a fraction to a decimal takes one step. Converting to a decimal from a fraction is a little bit more involved. But like I said, it's just one step to get from a fraction to a decimal. You just gotta divide. So like I said, by now we understand 1/2 is like saying 1 divided by 2. So that's all we're gonna do. We are gonna take 1 and divide it by 2. Now how many times will 2 go into 1? And that's the trick, because it won't. 2 is bigger than 1. It won't go in. 0 times. So what do we do from here? We're gonna put a decimal down, and we're gonna add a 0 to it. And now, how many times 2 won't go into 1, but how many times will it go into 10? And 2 will go into 10 5 times, because we know 2 times 5 is 10, which leaves 0 left over. So 0.5 is the decimal form of 1/2. And then it would just be the same over here, 4/5. So we would have 4 divided by 5. 5 will not go into 4, but it will go into 40 8 times. So 4/5 is the fraction form of 0.8. And it's the same procedure for anything. If it was some crazy fraction, 64/216, you would just divide 64 by 216. And it may not be so easy. It may not be just 2 simple steps like this, but that's how you would do it. And so like I said, getting from a fraction to a decimal was easy. Getting from a decimal to a fraction is a little bit more involved. So we're gonna see, like I said, our first step, we have an example right here. We have 0.3. And so the first step, the first thing we're gonna do with this decimal is we're gonna count how many digits are behind the decimal point. And so we're gonna look, here's a point right here. So behind them is just 1. We only have that 3 in this first number. And so our second step, if we have the 1, we just have the 3. So we have 1 digit, we have 1 0. So we'll be talking about 10. We're gonna see our second example, we have 1 with 2 digits. So we're gonna see how that's different. But just for this first one, 0.3, there is 1 digit, so there's 1 0. We're talking about 10 right here. And so now, like I said, we're gonna take that kind of hanging 10, and we're gonna use it in step 3. We're gonna multiply the top and the bottom by 10. And so we're gonna see, like I said, 0.3. And we understand from fractions, we remember that just a whole number like that is understood that 1 is the denominator, the bottom number. And so like I said, number 3, that's our third step. We're gonna multiply the top and the bottom by 10. And so as we know, 1 times 10 is just 10. 1 times 10 is gonna be 10. And then 0.3 times 10, what we're gonna do, the trick for this, how to multiply a decimal by 10, or by any zeros, we're multiplying it by 10, there's 1 0, we're gonna move this decimal one space to the right. So instead of 0.3, this becomes 3.0, which would just be 3. That's like I said, it's 3 steps. It's kind of tricky to explain. It's a lot easier to do. You see how many digits are behind your decimal? That's how many zeros are on the number that you multiply your top and your bottom. And that's it. 0.3 is equal to 3 over 10. And so like I said, this could change a little bit. This depends on how many digits you have. So now we're gonna do number 2, where we have 0.45. And so we're gonna go through step 1. We're gonna see how many digits we have behind that decimal point. And in this example, we have our decimal point right here. And so we have 1, 2 digits. So now, like I said, this one we had 1 digit, we had 1 0. Now we have 2 digits. So we're gonna have 2 zeros. So now we're talking about 100. So we're gonna take this 1, because again, it's understood over 1. We're gonna multiply it by 100, multiply our top by 100. So we've got our 100 on bottom, we multiply our top, and remember, like I said, however many zeros you're multiplying by, you just move that decimal over. So it's 0.45, we move it 1, we move it 2, becomes 45.0, which is just 45. I'll say it again, it's a lot easier to do than it is to explain. And so now, just to kind of wrap up, I have some practice questions. You can pause this, write these down, do these on your own. But I have some decimals, some fractions, so that you get to practice going both ways. But yeah, just practice up, write these down, and then try the quiz.